Good morning, everyone. I am Mary Rosa P. Fidelson. Today, I will be discussing about the criteria in choosing appropriate assessment tools. Assessment methods are the strategies, techniques, tools, and instruments for collecting information to determine the extent to which students demonstrate desired learning outcomes. Teachers need to select tools to assess student achievement in the target outcomes. The selection of tools involves a process to obtain detailed information and the need to keep the process feasible and manageable. Student learning styles vary widely and their strengths and challenges with respect to assessment varies well. Teachers need to consider that variation as they choose assessment for their courses. Assessment methods are essential components of the teaching process as they help measure how well students are achieving their desired learning outcome. These methods can take various forms such as tests, quizzes, project, presentations, observations, or portfolios. Each tool serves a specific purpose in evaluating student performance and understanding. According to Lorenz 2001, as cited in McDavid and Gibson, in its broadest sense, the purpose of any assessment is to gather data to facilitate decision making. However, many kinds of decision and many different types of information may be gained from the use of tests and may serve to facilitate decision making. According to Lorenz 2001, as cited by McDavid and Gibson, the primary purpose of assessment is to collect data to support informed decision making. This means assessment are tools that provides educators and even students with information that guides various educational decisions. However, the type of decision made and the specific information required vary depending on the context and purpose of assessment. So let's move on to the choosing appropriate assessment tools. First is the goal of assessment. Second is method of assessment, either direct or indirect. Third, the interval in giving assessment. An example of goal assessment would be evaluating the effectiveness of a training program designed to improve student problem-solving skills. For a scenario, the goal is by end of this semester, student will be able to apply a critical thinking strategies to solve complex real-world problem. Example of methods of assessment, either direct or indirect, can be categorized as direct or indirect, depending on how they measure student learning. Direct assessment methods. These methods involve evaluating actual student work or performance to provide concrete evidence of learning. The method, a written exam on historical analysis. The description, students are asked to analyze primary and secondary sources to draw conclusions about historical events. Their responses are graded using rubric to assess critical thinking, argument, structure, and content knowledge. For indirect, these methods gather perceptions, reflections, or secondary evidence about learning rather than directly assessing student work. For example, the method, a student survey about their perceived understanding of a course topic. For the description, students rate their confidence in applying concepts they have learned in a mathematics course. The survey results provide insight into their self-assessed learning, which can inform course adjustment support needs. The interval in giving assessment refers to the timing and frequency of assessment during a course or program. This can be formative or what we call ongoing throughout the learning process, or summative or what we call the end of a unit or a course. For example, weekly quizzes or the formative assessment.
Many teachers find this more because of complex skills while being provides and be responsive to students' needs while simultaneously keeping in mind the rules and plan of the lesson by Morco and Livingston.
Beginning teachers often find informal assessment more challenging than experienced teachers because it demands a high level of cognitive and situational awareness. According to Borco and Livingston 1989, this difficulty arises from the need to balance several complex tasks simultaneously, monitoring student engagement, responding to immediate need, and ensuring alignment with the lesson's goal and object.
Examples of direct method examinations, written assignments, oral presentation, and performances. Intensive supervisions of student skills, portfolios, scores, entry and exit tests, capstone projects, thesis, and dissertation. Example of indirect method: student satisfaction survey of students and alumni, exit interviews with graduating students, student presentation rates, reflecting basic data on placement and other measures of post-graduation performance. Now, let's move to the features related to the following characteristics in selecting whether conventional or ICT-based assessment. We have to measure the desired level of performance or the level of satisfaction, productivity, efficiency, student performance. Second one is cost effective in terms of effort, time, and money.
To measure the desired level of performance, it's essential to establish clear criteria aligned with the goal. For example, a survey conducted at the end of workshop. Cost-effective assessment balances efforts, time, and money while still achieving accurate and meaningful results. For example, using Google Form for quizzes. A useful assessment provides actionable insight that help improve student learning by identifying strengths, weaknesses, and areas for growth. For example, diagnostic assessment in mathematics.
Third one is useful that will produce results that provide information that can be used to make decisions to improve student effort, reasonably accurate and fifth, dependable, consistent responses on time, and lastly, evidence of being ongoing, not once and done.
A reasonably accurate and truthful assessment ensures the data collected reflects student actual abilities, knowledge, or performance, and it minimizes bias or errors. A dependable and consistent assessment provides reliable results that are consistent over time, meaning the assessment will yield similar outcomes under similar conditions. This consistency ensures that decisions based on the result are trustworthy. For example, student performance on weekly performance. ongoing assessment provides continuous feedback throughout a learning process rather than being a one-time evaluation. This type of assessment allows teachers to track student progress over time and make adjustment to instruction as needed. For example, formative assessment in a writing class.